Hello and welcome back to Meeples and Mysteries. My name is Nuno. And my name is Johnny. And today we're going to go through the last 10 of my top 30 solo board games of all time. Let's go! So a few things before we start. In case you want to support me, there's a Ko-Fi link below where you can do that directly. And there's also an Etsy store link where me and my wife sell some board game accessories. With that out of the way, you have chapters below with every single pick. You will also have links for every single game for Board Game Geek. I also want to do a disclaimer that in this video you're going to see B-roll footage of the games, and remember that these games might have some custom accessories I made or bought, and they might also have some expansions, so in case you want to buy one of these games, it's always better to ask first or just watch a review or an unboxing just to be sure. I wouldn't want to trick anybody. With that out of the way, let's start. Number 30. My number 10 is Friday, a solo deck building game. This is one of the first games I ever bought, and I never really played for a long time. The reason I really love it is that it is a simple and unique take into deck building. If you're starting out and deck building is new to you and you want to experience that in solo, this is a really good recommendation. The theme is fun. It has kind of a unique take on colonialism. Most games that are related to history and colonialism just take it seriously and just accept that Europeans were screwing everybody all around the world. And this one is a bit different, where it portrays the white European as a bit of a dumb person and the natives as the one that has to help him get through. So that's really cool and that's unique. For a game of this price and a box of this size, it's also actually quite replayable. It's challenging and you take some time to really get used to it. And once you do that, there's various levels where you can just increase the difficulty. And even though I played it quite some times, I am only halfway through the difficulty, so there's quite some replayability here. Even if the gameplay loop is a bit repetitive, it's really enjoyable. One of the things I really enjoy in this game is that normally you are playing in a knife's edge, where you're constantly about to die, but you're also able to scrape by just enough, so it makes for a really tense and fun gameplay. Overall, it's just a good deck building game that I would recommend as a beginner pick for anyone trying their hand at solo games if they want a deck building one or if they want to try it. What do you think about this one, Johnny? Well, actually I have a lot to say about this one. You know, let's take a moment here. In the unforgiving wilds of an unnamed island, one brave European sets out to prove what the locals already knew. That fire was not, in fact, invented in England. So the mighty explorer crashes his ship and suddenly discovers consequences. How exotic. Historians call Friday a survivable deck builder. I call it a live-action reparation simulator, where each turn is another apology waiting to happen. Robinson Crusoe thought he had discovered a new world. Instead, he discovered diarrhea, the great equalizer of hobbies. You, the player, you're not helping him survive. You're helping him slowly realize he's the problem. Robinson doesn't need food or water. He needs therapy and a history lesson. Preferably from Friday, who's already working way overtime. Indeed, Friday's the only one doing real work here. Crusoe's just the world's first influencer without Wi-Fi. If ignorance were a resource, Crusoe could have powered the whole ship and still had enough left to colonize another mistake. Every victory you score is Friday rolling his eyes and thinking, fine, I'll save him again, while wondering why the island can't just hit this man. And by the time the pirates show up, even and they are embarrassed for him. And thus ends another chapter in the noble history of European exploration, brought to you by coconut water and denial. Johnny out. That's all for me. Well done, Johnny. I never thought I'd say this, but well done. Thank you, man. You know I got it in me. If I had to say a negative about this game, you have to fight a boss if you survive until the end. And when you reach that boss, you have to play so many cards to fight that boss that at a certain time you just have the table full of cards. And you have to do a lot of simple math in your head. And it's simple math, but it's still a lot. Sometimes you have to be counting the attack power of like 50 cards almost, or 40 or 30 cards. And sometimes there's a simple power where each card gives you one more, or each card costs something. And that's just a tiny moment where the game is not ideal, where you have to stop and think, okay, how many cards do I have? How much power does each of them have? And then you almost need a calculator, and that would say it's the only problem with the game. But it's just a small minor thing that happens right as the game hits its peak, if you do reach it, because it will be a hard one for you. When you start this game, you'll be losing a lot. But that's it, my number 10, Friday. Number 9 is Project Elite by Simon. I say this because there's another previous version which doesn't have as cool as art and production, even though it's probably the same game. This one is really hard to get, and I hope we see a reprint of this in the future somehow. But basically, Project Elite is sci-fi action mixed with horror turned up to 11. It's just one crazy awesome game, be it multiplayer or solo. This one beats Escape for me by sheer chaos and theme, and by saying that theming and mechanics just mix perfectly in this one. This is basically a game where aliens have invaded the Earth, and even though everybody is being killed left and right, and humanity is on its last legs, some crazy scientist finds a way to use the alien technology to genetically change humans and make them into super killing machines. And you are going to take two of these characters, and you're going to just fight a horde of monsters. You basically have all the time you want to prepare and think about strategy, and then you play this game in rounds of 2 minutes of real-time chaos, where everything you want to do just goes out of the window. This is a really fun game multiplayer, but even at solo, it's just incredible. The theme and the mechanics just mix perfectly on this one. The 2 minutes of play is exactly as much as it needs to be. It's super fun to just devise a plan and watch it all burn into shit. In actuality, I have not played this that much, and I wonder where it will be next year, but I really want to play this more, be it solo, be it multiplayer. I've just personally printed a lot of cool terrain to use in the game, and this is one of those that I just want to play more. Do you enjoy Project Elite, Johnny?
Hey man, this game's crap, man. Oh no, the aliens moved free space. Quick, panic, and roll dice like you're auditioning for a seizure. Man, you're crazy, man. 2 minutes to save Earth, please. I need more time just to find my banana. Seriously. 2 minutes later and the only thing you've exterminated is your dignity. You're not defending humanity, you're speedrunning failure. If this is Earth's last line of defense, I'm defecting to Mars. You call this a solo cooperative game, man? I call it synchronized screaming. Jesus, man. And fast-paced action? No. I've seen toddlers build Lego towers with more coordination. This is not a mission. It's a solo breakdown set to a timer. Your elite squad? Man, you look like a garage sale version of the Avenger, man. Be smart, man. Pick games where you have a chance.
Yeah, because it's true, I've never even won this game. And that's it for my number 9, Project Elite. Number 8. My number 8 is Adrian's Wall. Another recent play in my life, another recent addition, but this one is just so great. This is a flip and write that has a Roman theme, where you're trying to build Adrian's Wall. That is a wall that was being built, one of the biggest at the time, that was being built to prevent the Picts from attacking. And at the same time you're doing this, you're also trying to manage a seat behind the wall. It's a flip and write, and it's the flip and write daddy. I mean, I don't really like flip and writes or roll and writes. It's never been my thing recently. This is I think it was the first one I bought. I also have cartographers that I got just after, and I have only played it once, so they are really not my thing, but I always heard so much about this game that I had to try it, and I'm in love. I love that it's really crunchy and really thematic, while still being a simple combo-fooled flip and write. I think that people exaggerate way too much, that this game is really heavy and has a lot going on. It does have a lot going on, but it's all really simple. There's quite some pages that you have to read in the full book, but those pages are they'll go to the detail. There's nothing missing in that rule book. And once you understand it, you understand it. You don't need to go back to the rule book. You can teach this game really quickly to anyone. I think even a non-gamer can just be playing this game in a few minutes. Maybe you won't explain everything about the game, but it just works. I don't think this should be as heavy as it is. For such an heavy game, or rather, for such an heavy game, it's just too easy to play. It's too easy to set up. It's too easy for everything. It just quickly became one of my favorites. I did not play it that much solo because my wife also loved it. I think it's her first heavy game according to BGG, and she just loved it, and we have been playing it a bunch at multiplayer, and that's the only reason I haven't played it more at solo. Also, I think it's the only beat your own score game I have here at solo, because, and I would enjoy that if it would have challenges and they ask for specific things instead of just trying to get a better score. But honestly, at this point, just exploring the possibilities and seeing how much I scored, it's just been enough for me. And I think it's the only game on this whole list that is like that for me. This is a game that when you start, it's just head down and crunchiness. This is very much multiplayer solitaire, and I'm all good for it. I like games to have interaction, and I like games that don't have interaction. But this might not be for everyone for that very reason. I see a lot of people just sometimes complaining that they want to play with other people, they want interaction. This one is not much like that. You will be talking to other people, but it's mostly about what you're doing and how exciting you are about your own gameplay, and that's it. This has really been one of the best surprises of the year for me, and I've been loving it. And I don't know where it will be next year in terms of solo, but I know that overall I really enjoy this one. And right now I'm just super curious about Anarchy, the spiritual successor, so I'll probably get it by next year, and let's see where that lands. What do you think of Adrian's Wall, Johnny?
Fucking hell, man, I hate these games, man. You have these tracks, civilian services, entertainment, yes, it's all very civilized. Meanwhile, you're got wall pieces and weapons, priorities. And so, you're building a wall to keep out the barbarians? Pfft, cute. Maybe next will be the wall to keep out accountability. The Emperor says, defend civilization. Translation, man? Draw a tiny box faster, slave. Yeah, this game is about drawing boxes, man. You're drawing squares for 30 minutes to an hour, man. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. Do you even know what a game is? This isn't an empire. It's an ancient Excel spreadsheet with delusions of grandeur. Each cell meticulously filled with someone else's suffering. Newsflash, man. The Picts aren't invading. They're just trying to return the land you stole. Politely. Jesus Christ. These fucking Europeans, man, destroying fucking everything. Oh, and you've got a track of valor and pity this round? Great. Turning humility next, man? Maybe this game should just be a big track of humility that you would fill with your own blood, man. Jesus. There's no barbarians attacking, no. It's just karma making its annual visit. Adrian wanted peace through walls. Yeah, history calls that foreshadowing. But let me get deeper, man. I saw a documentary about this one. Let's play it. In the far reaches of the Roman Empire, a mighty wall was built to keep out the so-called barbarians and to creep in the crippling anxiety of middle management. Build your fort, gain renown, pity, valor, and discipline, and try not to think about who's paying for the builders you enslaved. History, after all, runs on unpaid overtime. Adrian's Wall is a game that represents the very essence of Rome's motto. If it moves, tax it. If it doesn't, fortify it. A philosophy that built an empire and several centuries of resentment. If ignorance were a resource, the empire would have collapsed year one. Instead, it flourished, fueled entirely by arrogance and paperwork. And by the end, the empire crumbled, not from invasion, but from paperwork fatigue and severe irony poisoning.
Thank you, Johnny. That was great. You're really pushing the envelope today.
Man, I try to make my part, man. This is just... People think I'm just rude. Not, man. I'm just super smart, man. Super smart. People need to wake up, man.
But yeah, this is a game, and I didn't say that. This is basically about filling tracks, and tracks give you more stuff to fill more tracks, and they give you more resources, and there's so much thing to explore in this one, just crazy. But anyway, my number 9, Adrian's Wall. My number 8, Jesus Christ. Number 7. Number 7 is Sagrada. Sagrada is a beautiful dice puzzle that, while simple in rules and concept, is actually incredibly hard to pull off. And I think that's why I love it. It plays super fast too and has an awesome solo mode. Because thematically, this is not a game that appeals to me. I don't care for religion, I don't care for churches, it's just not my thing. But this game just works. Multiplayer is fun, is cool. It's maybe not my favorite puzzle at multiplayer, it feels really constrained and a bit frustrating. But at solo, even though it feels more constraining, it's just super fun. The solo mode for this one actually is super hard to beat, and that's what makes it fun. Because at multiplayer, everybody's playing with the same rules and you just need to beat the other players. So, it's fun, it's cool if you love puzzles, especially beautiful dice puzzles that are really constricted, you're going to enjoy this one. But solo, for me, it's where the fun is at. Because the way you play this one solo is that you're playing a challenge. And the way the challenge is built is that every time you have a pool of dice that you use to build a stained glass window, according to various rules and trying to score points in variable ways. But the thing is, there's always dice that you don't use. And the dice that you don't use are summed up in the end to make up a score that you have to beat to pass. So the solo mode has an added layer of strategy and depth that the multiplayer doesn't have. You're not only thinking about your choices and how to maximize them, but you're also thinking about the choices you are not making and the dice that you're leaving behind, because those are important too. So the game becomes even harder. And I think part of the obsession I have with this game and why I played it so much is because it's really hard. And it plays really fast, so it's easy to just... Instead of getting frustrated, I just started again and I tried to beat it. And I've never beat this game in the easiest difficulty. There's like 5 levels of difficulty. And I've never beat it at level 1. I've come so close that there was one game where I matched the exact score I was supposed to. I managed to lower that score as much as I can and make my score as best, and I just matched it and I didn't go over. And it's a game I'm still trying to beat. Thematically, it shouldn't be here. It's not the type of game I should love. But the production is awesome, the game is solid, and the solo mode is just addicting and quick to play. And continuing to talk about the production of this game, a game that came out in 2017 and the retail edition comes with a good insert and double layered boards. I mean, I was actually astonished. When I bought this game, I had no game like that. And for a light game, family game that's almost available in the mass market everywhere, that's really cool. I've bought games from the same price that are really low quality in comparison.
Ha! Sagrada! The only game where beauty and suffering share the same color palette. I hate this game, man. Seriously. Your private objectives say lots of blues and fours. And your dice pool says surprise! All reds and ones! Fuck you, game, fuck you! And look, those translucent dice, it's perfect. They're perfect, so beautiful. They're perfect for obscuring your cries of frustration when you place a 1 next to a 1 and only realize it later. 2 rounds in and your masterpiece already looks like an architectural crime scene. And by round 4, you're no longer playing, man. You're no longer playing, you're praying. Build a beautiful work of art, he said. It'll be relaxing, they said. They lied, man. There's nothing relaxing about this game, man. This game is tense. The game... And then, the color adjacency rules. Because nothing says like spirituality, like math-induced rage. Why the fuck can't I have the same numbers and colors together, man? What sense does that make? How is that thematic, man? Fuck this. You're not crafting a masterpiece. You're negotiating with randomness and losing. And then comes that moment you realize the only symmetry in your window is your tears. And by the end of the game, your window is glowing. It's glowing because you left a bunch of empty spaces for the light to shine through. This isn't a game about dice placement. It's a game about managing your expectations. You want to have a good time? Lower them. Lower them to the ground and then dig a bit, and I don't even know, man. Sagrada is not a game you win, Solo Sagrada is a game you survive. The rulebook might say it's about art, but the tears on the table say otherwise. You're out of muse, out of dice, and out of faith. Welcome to Sagrada. Thank you, Johnny. Man, I don't want to play that game anymore.
Number 6. My number 6 is Sprawlopolis. And here I'm including all the Olopolis games. And that means Agropolis, Naturopolis, whatever. The Combopolis expansion where you can mix and match the 3 of them. And even the new one that I've only played once and still have to dive in, that is Casino Hobbies. They are basically, and I'm starting, I can't say that word too many times, I'm starting to screw it up badly. But I'm talking about all of them. They are basically the same game with different arts, some small tiny bits that change. But this is basically a city building tile laying game that you play with cards. It's just 18 cards and they are all double-sided, and on the other side there are scoring conditions. And every game you shuffle those cards, you take 3 out, you turn them to the score side, and that's the 3 conditions you have to score your game. And then you just pick 3 cards and you start laying them down and taking more cards from the deck. And it's such a light, quick game. You set this up in like 30 seconds. You can take this game anywhere in your pocket and you start playing, and this game is actually quite the brainy puzzle. Sometimes it's on the easier side, and I say this lightly, it's not easy at all. But sometimes you just have 3 scoring conditions that you have to try and mix. But sometimes this game is has so much depth and is so hard. Sometimes you get conflicting score conditions that just make you really have to work for it. The way I actually play this game is that normally I take 3 cards out and I play those same 3 cards various games until I find a way to at least almost win, because this is a hard one, even though it's super simple. So for a game of 18 cards, the replayability and depth here is unmatched. I don't think I know such a simple game with so much depth and replayability. I'm not sure where this one will be next year, just because I've played it so much and I'm getting new games all the time right now, and I'm not sure if I'll be continuing playing it or if I'll make a pause or something. But this is an easy recommendation to anyone. If you buy this game and you don't actually enjoy it, guess what? You spent $9. This game is so cheap and gives you so much. I even do have some expansions for this game that I haven't really even tried yet, because the main game is still giving to me. I still don't feel like I need to up the challenge or need more variability. I'm still okay with where it's at. And then you get all the other games. You got Naturopolis, where the art is different and you got some other special things. You also got Agropolis, then you got the combination of them all. You got the expansions, as I mentioned. Some have really funny things. That's actually one expansion I do recommend, is these points of interest. Every single one of these games has that expansion. It costs like €1. Sometimes you even get it in the box, depending on the edition. And it's basically just a starting card that helps you score 1 to 4 extra points. And for me, I really have a hard time winning this one. That's why I haven't really delved into the expansions. And that small one that gives me 4 points is the reason I sometimes win this game. So I really enjoy that one. As I said, this is probably one of the best games ever if you consider how much you pay, how little it asks of you, and how much it gives back. The only thing I would say is that this is one I don't really enjoy at multiplayer. I think it just works best as a solo game, and that's how it should be played. Of course, everyone has their opinion, but that's how I see it.
Man, this game's way too hard. Each card you play is like a contractor whispering, "Hope you have a bigger plan." Spoiler, you don't. It's better to be sad alone, man. You also have less bruises.
You play with some pretty violent people, Johnny.
Hey man, take a look at your friends first. Don't comment. Seriously, by the end of this game, you're like, congratulations. You've constructed your dream city. Population 0, mood also 0. You draft, you place, you optimize, and you still lose. Seriously, you thought you could plan ahead, but the deck thought otherwise. There's nothing much to say, man. There's nothing much to say. If you want to cry and suffer, and you don't have a lot of time, you play this game, man. Seriously, play this game.
There's lots of games you hate.
Yeah, man.
I'm not even sure there's games you like.
You know, let's just keep on with the video.
Number 5. My number 5 is Final Girl, an end management, dice mitigation, extremely thematic game. This game is a bit unique in the way that it was constructed. You basically have a core box that you need to play, and then you have a bunch of expansions. And you will always need at least one expansion to play. The core box is basically a VCR player. and each expansion is the film you're going to play. And this is a really thematic horror movie simulation game. Most of the films are based on existing horror movies, others not so much, but they all play in that way. It's a really hard game where, as I said, you're trying to manage your hand in the best way possible. It's just a really fun game. If you are a fan of horror movies, this is just such a great game. It's a game that you understand that the people that made it, they really love those movies and understand them. You're basically playing as one of the final girls, you know, the typical character that always survives after everyone is dead. And you're also always fighting a killer, and you're basically walking around the map. You can search for items, you can try and save people, you can try and fight the killer. There's all kinds of crazy events that happen. Every time you're playing, for example, the basic one that you're always advised to start with, which is basically Friday the 13th and all of those slasher movies combined together. There's just such fun, crazy events that happen. I think the first time I was playing this game and I really got in love with it, it was when suddenly I got an event that said something like, you know, curious victims. Oh my god, what is that noise? So suddenly, the victim that was closer, or, you know, the person that was closer to the killer would always just go and check out what's happening. So they would go into the killer and they would die. And the killer just started getting really strong really quickly, and I lost that game badly. And I just loved it. It made me remember all those meme movies I'm watching where people are like, oh my god, what was that noise? Let me go and check it out alone. And they're like laughing, saying, oh my god, how dumb is this person, is going to get killed? You know, it's a trope of horror movies. And if you enjoy these movies, you're going to understand and you're going to enjoy that. And it's just crazy. It's a game made by horror movie fans and lovers and made for those people. If you're just wanting to play and management game with dice mitigation, this might be for you, but if you don't want horror movies, this might just feel frustrating. So I'm not recommending this to anyone who's not a lover of horror movies. That's just how I see this movie. And I see a lot of people that are not really a fan of it trying to play this game because this game has really become famous and they normally house rule the game. And I would say there's probably better options for you out there. If you don't really enjoy this theme and you just want a dice game, there's probably other options.
Man, let me take over this one.
In a world where bad decisions meet bad luck, one girl is all that stands between sanity and absolute chaos. She's fast, she's clever. She's probably going to die anyway, man. You move, search, attack, repeat. Till your health is gone, your victims are screaming and your brain is begging for mercy. You can't trust the cards. You can't trust the rules. You can't even trust your own stupid choices, man. This game is hard. She might survive. She might fail. But one thing's for sure. It's gonna be fucked up. Final girl. Play it if you want your anxiety professionally screwed with.
Seriously, man, why do you even like this game? This game is so hard, man.
And yeah, be prepared. This game is really hard. You're going to be losing most of the time. You really have to have fun with the team and have fun losing to enjoy this game. And I do. Every time I actually win it, I just turn up the extreme horror mode that just makes things impossible because I don't want to win again. I want to lose miserably and have fun doing it. Number 4. Number 4 is Under Falling Skies. And this is the most recent game. I played this just like 2 days before I set on the list. But on those 2 days, I played this game 10 times. This game really got me. And still, it's a really early love relationship where things could go downhill. I'm actually not sure. But I really enjoyed this. For me, this is the Independence Day meets Space Invaders. It's a dice placement game where you roll dice. And you have kind of a base on Earth with a ton of columns that have different spaces. And you have to allocate 1 dice per column. And each column can have spaces that help you gain energy to use the other abilities. And the other spaces are the other abilities that are like gaining points to win, attacking the ships that are coming towards you, and all other kinds of stuff. And meanwhile, there's a mothership, alien mothership just coming down. Tons of small alien ships also coming down. And you have a set time to try and destroy them, which is by making enough points to destroy them. And every turn, they just come down and get closer. And if they get close enough, the city is destroyed. So it's always really tense. And then the mini spaceships that are coming towards you, You know, this game has a really nice mechanic where every dice you put, you allocate to an action. It is stronger or less strong according to the dice you rolled. For example, a 6 is going to make that ability really strong, whether it is to charge up or attack an enemy. And if it's a 1, it's going to be really weak. But the thing is, the number that you use also affects the ships that are coming down in your direction. So if you use a dice and get a really powerful ability, on that column, all the enemies are going to go down 6 spaces and come closer to destroying you. So it's just a really cool balance of trying to use your best actions, but also trying not to use them too much because you're going to get killed if you do. And it's just a really nice puzzle. And I've only really gone through the first city. This game comes packed. You get several cities. Every city has 2 sides in case you lose and want an easier game next. And it's even thematic because it's like, okay, destroy the city, so the humans got even better and now they have a better city built just to fight the aliens. It's really cool. And then there's a whole campaign that I've also not even tried yet. So this is one that I could certainly burn up on it and maybe it will go down next year, but I can also see it going up or just staying here because I still have a lot to experience on this one and it was really fun until now and I've just scratched the surface. It's also really simple to learn and to play. Even though it's hard to play, it's really simple to learn. The box came with a QR code for a video and normally I do a mix of watching a bit of a video, but then I learn the rest of the game through the rules and the game because I just work better, I just understand stuff better if I have the physical components in front of me. But this one, I just watched the video and everything was learned. I didn't not need to check the rulebook again. It's just that. Because I've heard some things about the rulebook that further down the line, the game is not really that clear. But for your starting experience with the first city, it was just incredible. It was really meaty, really crunchy, and really simple, and just thematic fun. If you do enjoy this theme that aliens are coming down, you're in the last line of defense for Earth, this is one you should try. It's one of the best recommendations for dice placement for starting your solo career. This is one I should have gotten sooner, really.
Man, you roll some dice, you move some aliens, and you pretend you're saving humanity. Bro, you're just rearranging colored cubes while your coffee gets cold. Oh, it's so tense. Yeah, so is watching paint dry when you really care about the outcome. No, get real, man. It's not strategy, it's math homework with explosions. The mothership's coming down. Big deal, so's my patience. If I wanted to feel helpless and stressed, I'd just watch your Final Girl unbox it video again, man. Seriously, what the fuck were you doing? You almost ripped the box in half, live in the video, man. Whoa, Johnny, really strong opinions from someone whose idea of strategy is just eating the components. Hey, fuck you, man. Hey, fuck you, man. You don't talk about that shit, man. They don't need to know, man. Shut up, man.
Number 3. My number 3 is Warp's Edge, one of my favorite games of all time. Contrary to the other games that I've recently talked about, this one has been with me since the beginning of my solo career, at I think the beginning of this year, I'm not sure, and it's just become one of my favorites. The theme is similar to the last one, albeit different. This is more Battlestar Galactica-like. Basically, there's a bunch of aliens that are destroying humanity, and you're one just simple pilot in one fighter spaceship that's fighting the aliens, and somehow, for some reason, you get lost in space. And when you're trying to come back, you get face to face with the alien mothership and all the small alien ships. And the only thing you can do to try and survive is destroy them all on your own. So it's a bit of a dumb, stupid story, B-movie style, where, humanity is on its last legs fighting a big alien race, and somehow you, a tiny pilot, you get lost, and you're going to defeat them alone. Yeah, but it's really cool. Basically, this is a bag builder. And it's not a big game box-wise, but it does bring a lot of content. You have various ships to select. Every ship has different abilities, and those abilities are all tokens that you can buy and put into a bag. And then you reach into that bag, you get them out, and that's the ability you can use for that round. And it's more or less a simple and light game. There's also a ton of alien bosses and alien ships that give a lot of more variability to the game, but basically it's a bag builder and it's a super fun. In theory, this game shouldn't be as good as and replayable as it is, but it's really addicting. Every spaceship you choose has various possibilities, even Even though most of the abilities are straightforward, there's really different ways to go about it. The game always rides the tense edge of almost making it, and it's actually really challenging in the beginning. It's going to take you a couple of tries to beat your first boss, and then you have more bosses. This is one of the first games that seriously put me on the path to solo gaming. If I have to have a problem with this, is that the game is a bit convoluted. Scott Holmes games generally tend to be really convoluted and not have the best rulebooks. This one, from every game I tried from him, is actually the less convoluted one, but it's still a little bit, and it's probable that you're going to play a lot of games with the rules wrong, as I did. I even have playthroughs where I'm playing it wrong, but the thing is, every time I played it, it's been a ton of fun. And as I get the rules better, the game just becomes harder, and I realize I still have much to play and to learn. This is a game I've played a lot, one of the games I played most, and I still have a ton to play. I've probably even going to buy the expansion. It's just a ton to go through with this game. It's just an awesome one. If you like the theme, if you want to try a back builder or enjoy that mechanic, this is one you should have. This is a game that's really cheap for what it offers you. It's just a great one. It's one of my favorite games. Period.
Oh, Warp's Edge! The game where one random pilot somehow wipes out an entire alien armada. Yeah, sure, Nuno. You crash-landed 5 minutes ago and now you're single-handedly ending intergalactic warfare with a sack of poker chips. Real believable, man. And you sitting there all proud like, I won! No, you didn't. You statistically accidented your way into a miracle while eating Cheetos. Jesus, man, you're pulling random tokens from a bag. You're not a hero. You're a confused space intern with a gambling addiction. That's what this game is about. Enough said, man.
Number 2 is Terraforming Mars. This game is legendary. This game doesn't really need introductions. It's also a game where the solo mode is really divisive. Before getting this game, I was not really getting it for the solo. I was just getting because this is one of the classics that you supposedly have to try. And I always saw lots of people saying that the solo mode was really not cool, that it was different from the multiplayer, that most of the cards in the game weren't really used solo. And for those that don't know, Terraforming Mars is an engine building. It's a really thematic engine building, where you're basically drafting and getting cards that you use to build your engine so you can terraform Mars. And the game ends when Mars is terraformed, which means you have to go up in 3 tracks: the water, the oxygen, and the temperature. And when you're playing a multiplayer game, you're just trying to score more points than the other people, and when the game ends when the planet is terraformed. So the players are in control of when the game is going to end, and they're just trying to score the most points until they do. When honestly, Terraforming Mars solo is how I first learned the game, and it got me really hooked. It got me hooked like nothing else before. And it's really weird, because personally, I started in the wrong foot with Terraforming Mars. When I first unboxed the game, I hated it. I despised it. I couldn't believe how low quality the box was. It's like that thing is trying to rip itself every time I pick it up. Then the insipid game components, the horrible stock art, the PowerPoint-like corporate graphics. I was shocked. I was like, is this the legendary game everyone keeps talking about? But the truth is that the game inside it's so damn good. And it took me by storm. And yeah, you often hear Terraforming Mars fans dissing the solo mode. I actually think the solo mode surpasses the multiplayer. And that's just my opinion. I know it's not the one that most people have. I know it's a hot take. It's just my opinion. I'm not trying to offend anyone. But the thing is, the multiplayer game, even though it's really good, it takes way too long. It's really long for what it is. And I think that's an opinion that many people have come to have. That's also the reason why the Prelude expansion is considered a must-have for the game, because it does make the game faster. But the thing is, when you're playing solo, none of that matters. The solo game is really quick. You play it in 30 minutes. And the solo game is the type of solo game that I enjoy for these games. It's a specific challenge. This is not about points. This is about being able to terraform the planet in only 14 plays. That makes it that it's a really good challenge and it's really a fast game. And the thing that everybody complains, the solo is not cool because most of the cards are not really usable, since many cards are about points and interactions with players and not really about what you have to do in the solo mode. Game only works in this incredible solo because of that. It is very much part of the design that most of the cards are not usable. You can only really get a few cards that are going to be usable for you. If every card was usable, you would end the game in 5 turns. There would be no challenge. It's the fact that you're only going to get some cards that could help you. You really have to decide how how to use some cards, when to use them, if you should wait for more, if you should not. It's got an element of almost pushing your luck. You don't have a lot of turns to really devise a plan where you can terraform the planet in 14 turns, and for me it's a really tense, really cool game. I also sometimes hear people complaining that, sometimes halfway through the game you realize it's not possible to do because you didn't get the cards. The truth is that my experience with the game, and I play this a lot, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, it depends on the person basically, but every time I play it and every time I lose, I can always go and look back and see something I could have done different to win. Normally the game goes down to the last line. I always win or lose in the last or in the last round. For me, it's a real incredible game. And no, you can't really be sure if you're going to lose halfway. Even if you do really bad, you could really have a good card. But mostly, if you only get like 5 cards in a game where you cycle, 50 cards, if you only get 5, if you use them correctly, you should be able to win. And it's a really cool game. Even when you're not going to win and everything seems lost, it's just so cool to build these cards, to try and push them, to build an engine, see where it gets you. It's just a game that has made me play the most, and I'm still really interested in it. And really, it's a game I played to exhaustion. In the recent 2 months, I have almost not played this game solo at all. And when I say almost, it still means I played it a couple of times. And then I'll still have the Prelude expansion to try. I still have an Automa that is not really my thing, but I have it if I want to try it. Then there's also tons of other expansions that could make the game new for me again. So this is one is probably going to stay here for a long while. And then it's also a cool multiplayer game, and a game that everybody should try at least once. And if you do, you don't get caught up. Don't think you know better than the game and that, oh my god, these cards are not usable, why this game is bad. No, it's supposed to not be usable. Trust in the game a little bit. This game is not super famous for no reason. And it's really pushing its way here, because just looking at the components, this game nobody should have taken a second look at this game. This game is good.
Oh yeah, Terraforming Mars. The game where you spend 3 hours turning Mars green like you're Bob Ross with a budget, while the box looks like it was printed on a lunch break.
Yeah, but we were just talking about the solo mode.
Shut up, man. Look at your flimsy player board. I blew on it and now it's gone. No, seriously, Nuno. I screwed up. I lost components, man. We have to find them, man. I'm sorry. And the art, man, a chaotic mash of stock photos and early 90s CGI that screams, "Oh, we run out of budget before lunch, man. Just get whatever."
That explains the box.
And Terraforming Mars solo? Yeah, nothing says fun like playing with yourself on a planet with no oxygen, man. Eh? Jesus. Look, I raised the temperature. Cool, now raise your standards, man. What the fuck? The art, it looks like PowerPoint had a seizure. Cereal boxes look better than this. And the solo mode, you're just spending 30 minutes alone trying to impress imaginary investors. You're not terraforming Mars, man. You're just speedrunning depression.
Number 1. And we've finally come to the last one. My favorite solo of all time. And this is Frostpunk. Seriously, I'm in love with this game. I daydream about this game. I've never done that with any other game. Frostpunk is at its heart a city and civilization management game filled with politics and morality. In truth, the fact is the world ended and you lead a bunch of survivors in a cold dead earth. Can you survive when everything is against you? Seriously, I love this game. I can't say that enough. Every time I play a super heavy and long game, which is very much this game, by the end, no matter how good it was, I'm always exhausted and I need rest. But Frostpunk? I just want to go and try it again. This is the biggest, hardest, longest to set up game in my collection. It really shouldn't be this high. This is definitely not a game for everybody. It has so much going against it, but if you truly love the theme and the experience, none of that matters. If I had a bigger house and a space for a second gaming table, that gaming table would just be called the Frostpunk table. The reason I don't play this game more is because I basically need to take a day out of my schedule just to set up and start playing the game. And the truth is, it is so long to set up and to relearn the rules that when I play this, I want to play it more than once. The first plays I had of this game, they were all in a row across 3 days. And then I just had to wait a couple of months and I've just played it again recently because I had to get footage for this video. And I was like, no way I'm going to set up this game just to take footage. I know, I have to play it. I was just going to be mad that I lost so much time. And that's it. That's the game where I bought a ton of extra stuff for it because I really enjoy it. It's a game that once I'm done playing, I just want to play it again. And it's a shame that this game is so hard and so long. It takes so long to set up that you can't possibly do that unless you really have an extra space where you can go and come back from it. Because truth is, I need this table for these videos. I need to be able to play other games. I also need to play games with my wife, and I can't just have this old table just taking that game. And it's not just a table, I also need some chairs just to put other stuff. And yet, I love this game. I do still want to play it more. This has so much depth. It's a game I never won. I've never even come close to winning. This game is super long, and I've only gone like halfway through the first scenario. It's really long. I can't even imagine what it's like to win a game. It's going to probably take me 2 days if I ever get there. But the thing is, it's worth it. And it's the only game I say that. A game really needs to be my thing for me to be able to put up with everything that you have to put up to play this. But as I said, I don't recommend this to anybody. You only buy this game if you're really looking at it, and you have glasses. I don't know, if you're really in love just with the idea in the game. You really have to, because this game is really demanding. So, you have been warned.
Frostpunk, huh? The game where humans freeze to death while you sit there pretending that the hope track matters. Back at my home, kids weren't worried about morale. They were eating the wick. That's real leadership. Back at my home, if humans complained about the cold, we handed them more coal and the snow shovel. Work the cold away, motherfucker! Humanity's weak and pathetic. Seriously, you can't save them. And that's why I enjoy this game, man. That's why I enjoy this game, just seeing you fuck up. But seriously, Frostpunk is what happens when someone thinks, hey, terraforming Mars is fine, but what if everyone was miserable and dead? Welcome to Terraforming Mars Arctic Death Edition. Genius, you took the worst Mars expansion nobody asked for. This is not expansion for Frostpunk, man. Fuck you, man, shut up. Why is this even your favorite game? Come on, a game where humans die like flies, kids work like slaves, and you sit there pretending you're clever, when you have no fucking clue about how to even survive past round 5? Jesus. No, you have a problem, man. Seriously. Go check it out.
And that ends it. That was my top 30 solo board games of all time. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what are your top games. Let me know if my picks are good, if they are crazy. Let's just get the discussion started. And as always, play more games and stay awesome.
Yeah, bye. Let's go.